Hi, I'm Dr. Gaby Cora, and welcome to my show, Dr. Gaby's Take, Make Life Interesting. So some myths and truths. One of the myths is if a woman is infected with a virus, if she delivers a baby, the baby will be infected too.
That's not true.
That's not true.
No. That baby, if she has access to care and treatment, that baby will be born negative.
So she would need to treat herself during the pregnancy. There should be special treatment during the delivery, and she may not be able to breastfeed after the delivery.
That's right.
As we're protecting the kids. Let's go to another myth, okay? HIV is a disease of gays.
That is no longer the case. And here we have seen a significant shift of the epidemic. As I said earlier, every minute there are 6 adolescents getting infected with this disease. Of those 6 adolescents, 4 are girls, 2 are boys. So there's a big change. Also, more and more women are getting infected with the disease. Now our biggest challenge here is also, women. If HIV is a sexually transmitted disease, we have to understand that we are sexual human beings. So we really need to understand, how this virus works. And as long as we are sexual individuals, as long as we are sexually active, there's always a risk to get infected.
Is there any other myth that we haven't discussed that you would like to dispel?
Well, the list is like, yes, you can shake hands, you can have casual kissing, you can get married with someone. Even if you're not HIV positive, you can actually have a perfectly healthy relationship with someone who is HIV positive. And more and more we are seeing zero discordant couples, where one of the couples is HIV positive and the other person is not. And the good thing, like in my case, my wife, she's HIV negative. We've been happily married for the past 15 years, and Margarita, she's still HIV negative. And we haven't done wonders or changed things. It's precaution and safer sex.
Juan Carlos, anything else that you'd like to add for our viewers today?
The last thing that I would like to add for those infected with HIV is that HIV stands for Human Immunodeficiency Virus. But for my daughter, for my family, and for myself, we have a different definition. And it is, hope is vital. Believe me, there is hope to live with HIV.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me here.
Thank you. Thank you for watching the show. I hope you enjoyed Juan Carlos Riascos as much as I did. It has been such a pleasure meeting him and interviewing him for my show as well. Now, let's think about 3 things that could help us make life interesting, according to this show that we've just seen around stigma, around bias, but also around hope and around turning things around and around learning more things that can help us make life interesting. The first one is, think about what biases are keeping you from success. What are the biases? What are your own limiting beliefs that are keeping you from succeeding? The first one is, do you feel that you're keeping dangerous secrets from the outside world and even worse, from yourself? So are you in a way living a double life that's not allowing you to be your true self, your authentic self, in a very aligned and integrated way? Think about that. Become more aware of that. The second one, within this first point about the biases, includes, do you feel that you're living part of this double life because of fear that you're going to come out, or that people are going to discover that you're not authentic. So this could also be contributing to your own bias. And another point to think about in this area is, do you sometimes feel like an imposter? Like the outside world, for example, sees you as extremely successful, but you don't feel that way on the inside. So all of that can help you around your own bias. The second point here is, how can you manage this bias that you may have and feel more comfortable in your own skin? And the three key points within this management piece include increasing your own awareness. So many times people don't realize that they may be their worst enemies, but here you do have an opportunity to try to figure out what are your own biases? Who are the people that you distinctively try to leave aside? The people that you dislike? Is it a religious group? Is it a race? Is it a certain ethnic background that you tend to dislike? So try to figure out yourself who it is that you tend to be biased against. The second point that is very important about managing our bias is becoming more educated. So for years ago, I was in touch with someone who was a senior to me while I was training, and this guy was from the Midwest. He was a very nice guy, well prepared, well studied, but in his upbringing, he had never ever seen an African American person. So he felt very stiff around people who were African American, and it's not like he mistreated them or that he was racist in any shape or form. He just didn't have the experience. So a couple of things around this: by increasing your education about a certain area, whether it's religion or whether it's a race or an ethnic background, and or allowing yourself to have more of that experience, that can help you manage the bias in a better way. The third point here is watching the company that you keep. So for example, if you feel that you are quite open, but you tend to surround yourself with people who are constantly judging other people or criticizing other people for certain aspects, and it could be just because they may not like fat people, or they may not like white people, or they may not like Asian people. Try to see if you're surrounding yourself by people who are constantly criticizing and or judging other people. The second one, the second part here is, try to see if how authentic you are around these other people as well. So for example, sometimes to keep up with these friends, you may need to say jokes or act a certain way when you're with them, but you act a very different way when you're on your own. So watch that in terms of your own behavior to see how the company that you keep is also affecting you. And a third point is to really do some introspection and see how much you're judging or you're criticizing other people, because you may feel that you're quite open, but if you're constantly surrounding yourself with people who are overly critical or over judgmental, in general what you see is that mirror image. What is within is being expressed or sought after on the outside. So all of this is food for thought. Think about these points. See how you can become aware, how you can improve on a step-by-step basis, and allow yourself to continue to improve and make life interesting. Enjoy.